Hey guys, aren't you tired of guessing what she wants for Valentine's Day? This year, Pro Flowers is making it easier than ever by taking all the guesswork out. They've got already low prices, but right now you can get 2 dozen assorted roses with a free glass vase for $29.99 plus shipping and handling. Or for just $9.99 more, you can get 2 dozen long-stemmed assorted roses with a premium vase and chocolate. Just go to proflowers.com and use my code TIMPF. And you can help support my show by supporting my sponsors, which helps me too, which, I like. So use my code TIMPF. Pick out your flowers. You can check out in 2 minutes. You can set the delivery day you want. Order now, have it delivered on Valentine's Day, right to home or work. You can make her look very cool in front of her coworkers, and you can't beat the price and convenience. Pro Flowers takes care of all the details. So here's the only way to get 2 dozen assorted roses with a free glass vase starting at $29.99. Just go to proflowers.com and use my code TIMPF. Help support our show and make things easier for you by using the code TIMPF. That's proflowers.com. Click on the microphone and type in TIMPF. Don't wait. Order this. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Kat Timpf Show. Today, my guest is comedian and a good friend of mine from D.C., Ryan Schutt. Hey, Ryan.
Hey, what's going on?
Nothing. As the past 3 podcasts, I'm also sick again. Everybody's been commenting about my...
How susceptible you are to disease.
I'm very susceptible to disease.
You're like a Dickensian street urchin.
Yeah, basically. But we are getting reviews in right now. The viewers love it. Someone named Dr. Sig just said, ... your glasses are freaking hot. I want to come all over them.
Wow.
So he's a patriot, and he's into cum stuff. See, he's a patriot.
he loves our country and coming on things.
He does. I mean, okay, let's look at the rest of his tweets. He tweeted also at Hillary Clinton one day ago, so I'm in good company. I hope someone assassinates you the way our men in Benghazi got assassinated, you sperm bucket whore.
Ooh.
So sperm, again, seems to be a main focus.
Colorful use of language.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sperm bucket whore.
Yeah. So, I met Ryan in D.C., but we didn't really hang out in D.C.
No, we kind of had like our separate spheres in the comedy realm.
Which is good because...
You were like an RFD comic.
Yeah, which is... Haywood, who was on the show, was telling some stories about me in D.C., some of which I probably was like, not be in there.
Really?
But, just he had to pick me up from a lot of parties.
Oh.
Because I'm very much like, want to have a good time.
Right.
And then
your eyes were moving in different directions and slurring your words.
Right, and then what have I gotten myself into? And then he'd come and pick me up. But
sure. I'd
like to say that you got to know me when I got my shit together a little bit, but is that really true?
Yeah, I didn't bear witness to too much of that.
That's good.
Unfortunately, that sounds like it was an interesting phase of your life.
It's true. But just kidding. I barely drink. I don't do anything bad. So yeah, and you were in DC again this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
You did Two Dope Queens at
the Lincoln Theater.
Mm-hmm. And there were a lot of famous people there.
Yeah, it was crazy. I was completely starstruck. It was like Alana Glazer from Broad City, Tig Notaro, Michelle Buteau's, she's like a talk show person.
Yeah.
This woman that's on Community, Jillian Jacobs, and then like backstage, like Eric Andre was just like hanging out, and like Rosario Dawson was back there, and I was just like, I'm out of my depth right now.
Yeah. Well, DC was crazy. I mean, the protesting, some of the signs were absurd. They were really absurd. I saw one that I really, really loved on my way, because I took the train because I was there for the inauguration for Fox. I took the train that as the Women's March was going on. And I saw a sign that just said, it was the biggest sign, it just said, I have concerns. And I wish people could be a little bit more like that.
Yeah.
Than like they are.
A little more reserved.
Yeah, well, because you saw a little bit of it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like the ridiculous ones that I saw. I don't know. I generally thought like the vibe of the march was pretty like positive, and like nobody was being like, there weren't like, people were like pretty like well behaved, and like I don't know. I like growing up in DC, like I've been to like a ton of those, like where people just descend upon the mall and like just fuck up the city.
Yeah.
And this one like was one of the largest, and it was one of the like least uh, like disruptive, I guess. I mean, like I remember when Bush was getting inaugurated, people got like straight violent. So, like I mean, like friends of mine included, like would like have gotten like tear gas and stuff, like protesting the inauguration.
You didn't get tear gas though. You walked away from it.
No, I was a good boy. I was in school. I didn't skip school to go to the inauguration.
You don't like Bush. You talked shit to me about my George W. Bush wine stopper.
I mean,
he's cute.
I have different views on
no, but he's.
I wouldn't want him as a wine stopper.
But he's cute though.
Sure.
He's a cute little guy. Like the war, you can believe those aren't mutually exclusive. You can be like the war in Iraq was terrible. And
there are
cute.
some adorable war criminals.
Yeah, he's a cute one.
Paul Pot is adorable.
George W. Bush
is
not
cute. A war criminal.
I mean, I don't know. The protests, like when I went out for Fox, there was not crazy stuff, but we weren't really getting into crazy stuff. Mm-hmm. And then like I was sick as hell. Right. And I did the first half of the day with Fox, and then the second half with Barstool.
Right.
And I did it with Caleb and Roan. And they were just getting all kinds of shit. We got ourselves into it like a basic anarchist protest where we were just like linking arms with everybody.
The one that fucked up that limousine, like set it on fire.
Probably the same people.
Yeah, and threw like bricks through the windows of those Starbucks.
Probably the same people, and we were just chanting like our streets with everybody else, like take back our streets.
That's the kind of shit. Like again, like growing up in DC, like that's the kind of stuff that like it just like fucks up the town, and like it's just like go back to fucking Ohio. Do you know what I mean? Like and like stop messing up the city that you don't live in.
Right. Well, there were these two women. There was like these two black women in this cab, and one of them was like older.
Right.
And there was protesters sitting in the street, like these young white like college kid was sitting there.
Right.
He looked like a college kid.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, they're like, our fares, like, can we go to where we're going? Like our fares going up, and he was just like. And I was asking them like why, and they were like, "Haven't you ever seen a protest before?"
Yeah,
like,
yeah. No, it's just like standard thing that happens there, and like it's just annoying because I like you and I were talking about this earlier. Where it's just like people from all over the country just feel entitled to like come into DC and like disrupt traffic, and like I mean it happens every year on like some level with like I fucking hate the cherry blossom people that come in just like they just descend like the barbarian horde down in DC and they just snarl up traffic. And
you hate the cherry blossom people.
I hate the cherry blossom.
Are they old people? What's the cherry blossom crowd like?
Oh, it's unbelievable. Like I mean there's like a lot of old people, but like there's a lot of just dudes just shirtless.
Wait, what?
Like, walking around just being like some pretty ass flowers around here, man. And I'm just like, all right, well, like just give us your money and kindly leave.
I feel like
please.
I've never seen the cherry blossoms, and I lived there for 2 years. I don't really give a fuck about flowers.
They're pretty, but like, is it worth driving 500 miles from fucking I don't know like Kentucky? I'm not sure.
No, I feel like no.
Yeah,
but. The cherry blossom. I get pissed because in New York, whenever there's any sort of protest, it's always on Fifth Avenue, which happens to be in between my apartment and my workplace.
Yeah.
So it's
really
my shit's
about
just
me. As petty as your right. It's like it personally inconveniences me. I'm like, man, I'm just trying to go to like bars and stuff, and like it's just kind of hard.
I feel really bad when it's like a funeral or like some commemorative event. And I'm like, I need to get to work.
Yeah, right.
But I feel like they should give little alerts out on your phone or some shit like that.
Well, and I will also say, I mean, this is another inconvenience. Is I remember like personally getting pissed off by the Obama motorcade, like on like a weekly basis, because I worked like along Connecticut, and that's just like where that was like a corridor for those people, and so like you would get stopped by cops and be like, you have to stand here and wait for like this giant motorcade to drive through before you can cross the street.
But you love Obama.
He's fine.
You want to smooch him on his face?
I mean, I'd kiss like a president given
Would you have
the
sex
opportunity.
With him?
Oh man.
Yeah. With Obama?
I mean, for the story, I'd weigh it over.
I mean, how drunk would you have to be?
Oh man, that'd have to be like 440s.
40s. It's interesting you pick 40s. I do like to drink. I don't know.
But they're like malt liquor drunk is a very specific, reckless kind of drunk.
I agree. I bonged one time in college. Somebody gave me $5 to bong.
Yeah.
If anyone's listening, I made this up. To bong a 40 of what's it called? King Cobra. How'd you know I was gonna say that?
Because that's the dirty one.
Of King Cobra.
The truly gnarly one is from when I was drinking 40s regularly was Steel Reserve.
Well, quote. Colt 45, but King Cobra, and I wanted to be really cool because it was in front of these like dudes, you know. I was like, want to be cool in front of these like frat boys.
Yeah.
And I was like a sorority girl, and I was like, cool.
Your social status was
and
on
so
the
I
line.
was keeping my mouth shut, and I started to vomit through my nose.
Oh, did it go back up the beer
It
bong?
went no, I finished it. I did it.
Oh, Jesus.
And then I didn't want to throw up everywhere, but it just started spraying out of my nose, and then I ran to the bathroom, and then I obviously did throw up.
Yeah.
But I did it sober. I wasn't even like drunk. I wasn't throwing up because I was so drunk. I was throwing up because I was trying to be a hero.
Did they notice? Were you able to pull it off? Or
I mean, it was spraying out of my nose,
Okay,
so I don't
so-
think they noticed.
Bummer.
I think they noticed a little bit.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Did you do like drinking games and?
Oh, fuck yeah. I kind of I'm embarrassed by how much beer pong I used to play in.
Were you good on it?
I was great.
This man right here is like the longest man. You're a very tall man,
Yeah.
and your limbs are very long.
I used to play basketball, so it was like, it was like pretty good at shooting, and it was just like my friends and I, like, instead of going out and socializing and like, well, we had like people like hang out with us while we did it, but it just felt like very stunted to do it for like as much as we did. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Did you play?
It's so fun though. I
Did-
still love beer
I
pong.
cried like because I'd be bad at it, and I'd always be partnered up with my boyfriend at the time. You met
and
Blake.
you were just dragging the team down.
And I would drag the team down, and he would get mad, and then I would cry.
That is a key quality in a girlfriend is how good is she at beer pong.
I'm really bad at it, and I would.
Does she at least lose gracefully?
And
I
then
feel
I-
like you don't do either of those things.
No, I don't. I would. Well, then I would make it. Well, this isn't gonna help me at all. But I'd make it like I would have a panic attack.
Great.
About how nervous I was to do a good job,
Uh-huh.
and then I'd fail, and then he'd get mad, and then I'd be like, "This is why I'm nervous to play beer pong." And then and the other people had just left.
Yeah,
by this
yeah,
point.
right. And people are just like, "Can we get on the fucking table, please? We've been waiting for 45 minutes while nervous girl lines up her shot."
I mean, did you have a functional college relationship? Are those possible?
Oh, absolutely not.
Okay, what's a
Not even
fight that
close.
you can share that was bad? That's okay to
That
share.
was really bad.
For me, it's not hard. There's.
I mean, I can't think of specific. So, like the girl I was dating in college, she was very insistent on. She grew up in like very rural, very evangelical Christian Kansas.
Okay.
And I think she was kind of cutting loose and was like, I'm like, becoming like, like I'm shedding that identity and becoming like a cool like party girl. And so she just like was very insistent on like trying to keep up with me drinking, and like I'm, not like a huge dude, but like 6'5", like pretty big, and she's like this tiny 5'3" girl, and so like she tried to go with me like drink for drink, and would just like get obliterated after like
There's always girls like that.
3 beers,
Yeah.
and it just like it's so. My point is, every fight would start because she just get like beyond drunk after like like an hour of hanging out, and you're just like, what? How have you not learned that you do this?
Did you guys break up a lot?
No,
Really?
no,
See, me and mine broke up a lot.
because I didn't have the self confidence to do that yet. I was like, she just is passionate,
Oh yeah, I think one bad one that I had was there was a frat across the street that did a stoplight party where like red if you're taken, and yellow if you're like you're not sure, it's like a millennial not sure thing,
Ugh.
and green if you're single, and it was like the
I feel like everybody that wore yellow just like it started a fight that night.
yeah.
The
What
fuck
do
are you doing wearing yellow at this party?
Yeah, well, it was Sigma Chi, and then my boyfriend was like he was president of ATO, and they were like rival frats. They
Right.
like hate their frats were across the street from each other, and they'd like yell at each other from the rooftops, and
This sounds like fun.
and like I would sometimes run over to Sigma Chi and like steal their booze, and like run over to ATO, and I'd be like a
Yeah.
hero because I was like the first lady of
Right.
ATO,
Oh.
and
It's
oops.
part of your responsibilities.
Yeah, exactly. But we got into a fight, and it was the same night as the stoplight party.
Oh,
So I went over there wearing green,
oh boy.
and then I came across the street to ATO with my green shirt on, like following him around, being like, "Are you mad? Are you mad? Are you mad? Are you mad? Are you mad? Are
Let
you
me
mad?"
guess. He was a little mad.
And then he was mad, but he wouldn't talk to me.
Good for him.
And I was like, then it went from, why don't you talk to me?
Yeah.
So they weren't allowed to drink in the house. So they had a separate annex. It was like a garage, and it
Yeah.
was called like the annex, where it was just like madness went on in there.
Right.
And he wouldn't talk to me. And like, because I basically like lived there, because, whatever, he was my boyfriend, and we'd been together for years. I spent a lot of time in that frat house.
Right.
I was friends with all these guys.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, Kat, I mean, I'm like 19,
Yeah.
20. They're like, Kat, go home. Time to go home. And I'm like, yeah, Blake hates me. I can bring him. I mean, he's been on
And
this
they're like,
podcast. He doesn't
we
care.
hate you. Get
And
out.
no, they weren't. They were just like, and his roommate, his like best friend Nick was like, Kat, go home. I slept in the annex.
Oh boy.
I was trying to sleep in the annex because I was waiting for him to like walk by and like
Yeah.
I was gonna be like, talk to me.
I definitely slept in some questionable places in college.
Yeah.
Yeah. Slept on the street twice. Both in like unfamiliar cities.
Yeah.
LA and I guess DC when I first moved back. Those were bad nights. And when I was in DC, I'm pretty sure I blacked out and like I like probably like 3 a.m. just in a really bad neighborhood. And I came to on my feet at like probably 5:30 in the morning next to a bus stop with like all these just like very irritated people that were just going to work.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty certain I was at some point jumped by a bunch of teenage girls. Because
there's nothing more terrifying than a pack of teenage girls.
Well, here's how I know. I was like, fuck, they took my wallet, they took my phone, they took my keys, they took everything. And I had to walk home, and I went immediately checked on like my on like the bank website to see like if they made any charges on my credit card. They paid off. What was weird is they paid off a cable bill, paid off a bunch of phone bills, bought like seriously like $300 worth of chicken.
Oh, nice.
And they dropped $700 at Delia's. And I was like, all right, I think a bunch of girls just like pinned me up against the wall and took my wallet.
But talking about girls, as I've been, who will do the thing where they'll, and not that I do this anymore. I'm an adult woman, okay? I don't do this anymore. Wouldn't do this anymore. Sleep, outside of your residence to prove their love.
Mm-hmm.
Bad or a little hot?
It's hard to say. I mean, how?
Look, I'm not sleeping out.
How angry are you when the person finds you like outside their door, like the next morning? Like, do you just immediately launch back into the argument, like right where you left off? Or
I would try to look as wounded as possible for sympathy.
Oh boy. That's probably like a 7 out of 10 on the hotness scale.
Okay, that's good. That's what I always thought. Maybe I should get back into it.
Yeah.
Maybe I should get back into that game. You don't text me back, then I will just see me outside your window.
Yeah.
I mean,
go back to the martyr routine.
Look, it's tough. I told you that story about someone who we won't name, where it was kind of like giving me a ride home, and I was like, this is obviously not like working, and then I couldn't find my keys, and then I had to. I wanted to sleep on my porch until my roommate came back.
Right.
Wouldn't allow it. He had to take me home to stay at his parents' house where he was sleeping.
Oh.
So then I met his entire family.
Oh boy.
Which, you never want to be in that position.
Right. Starting off on the wrong foot.
Well, I was, and then I felt bad. I don't know. Do you do well with like meeting families?
Yeah.
You do?
Absolutely.
Parents like you? Families like you?
Yeah, I sometimes don't like parents.
Do you like anybody?
On a long enough timeline, no.
I mean,
so like my ex-girlfriend, that I was like dating when I was living in DC, I got along with her mom. But holy shit, did we, like, she always wanted to go like talk about politics and stuff, and eventually it got to the point where I was like, I don't even like talking about anything, because you draw it, like you pull it back into that realm every single time.
You can't say that. Did you say that?
No, of course I didn't say that to her. I'm not an idiot. But like I was just like, listen, I would just I would just kind of try and change the subject, but she's so like, I think because I kind of established myself as the person that she liked to talk to about that stuff, and it would actually engage her. She kind of was like, oh, like Ryan likes talking politics. I'm like, no, man, I'm just trying to get you to like me because I'm dating your daughter.
You ever date anybody with like a crackhead mom or anything fun?
I
mean, not that crack's
younger,
fun.
because I went to international school. I dated a girl with a very, not equating this to being a crackhead, but a very conservative Muslim father that was a complete nightmare.
I mean, how were you allowed in the house?
I wasn't. We had to like sneak around. That was kind of part of the appeal, is that like we was like this like forbidden love, but
oh yeah.
He was he's a monstrous guy, just this Persian guy that was like just was not dealing with his daughter becoming a a woman very well.
Yeah.
Like
I'm,
a regular, like American woman, I should say.
I
Because like
had
she grew up in the suburbs. I mean, she was Persian, but she's like an American girl. You know?
I had an ex from high school whose dad was really embarrassing, like, and very weird. He drank all the time, and then
Yeah.
like I would be allowed over there by myself, but then when I left, he would go smell the bed.
His dad would.
Yeah.
Jesus
Isn't
Christ.
that the grossest thing you've ever heard?
I mean, it's just like a thing where I mean, like, can you imagine fucking having to cope with that behavior from your fucking dad?
No,
You know
I
what I
really
mean?
cannot. My dad, I really cannot.
Yeah.
My dad's been on this show twice.
Yeah.
My dad's a good American. My dad is
He's a great guy. He's got great stories.
he's got great stories. He has wonderful stories.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like, but you were cool. You were like like that was my first. Well, I dated two people in high school. I dated one guy from another school who was like really into Yu-Gi-Oh, but he was like,
Dude, so like my first girlfriend had to put up this. I mean, this was in middle school, but like she had to put up with me loving Magic the Gathering.
I don't know what that is.
It's like a card game. It's like a
Ew.
yeah.
Oh.
I know it's a bummer, dude. I was 11.
Wait, you had a girlfriend? You were 11?
Oh hell yeah! And then
How old were you when you first kissed somebody?
11.
I was.
But I was also very
Tongue?
deeply. I slipped some tongue in there.
Ew.
Eventually, I worked my way up to it.
Okay.
But then I was also obsessed with Zelda Ocarina of Time. That's when it came out, and she literally was like, "You talk to your friends about Zelda Ocarina of Time more than you like talk to me." And I was just like, "Listen, I'm not sure I even have sexual impulses yet."
My first kiss was when I was 13, and he's gay. I mean,
That's cool.
his AOL screen name was Shawnee Boy Slick. Like, I knew the whole time, but he was more popular than I was.
Nice, yeah.
And I had those weird side bangs for like years.
That's like I feel like that's like a nice like starter relationship. It's just like
Yeah, we smooched on the bus on the way back from Cedar Point.
cool.
It was pretty cool.
It's a fun amusement park, right?
Yeah, it's really cool. But you were like a cool guy.
I would not go that far.
You played basketball in high
I
school.
did.
You played basketball. Did you play basketball in college?
I did.
Yeah, you're cool.
Not the whole time. I quit in college.
Why?
I quit because it takes over your life. Because it was Division III, so like a lot of people turn their nose up at that because when you think college basketball, like you think like about what you see on TV,
Mm-hmm.
and like only like the absolute like pinnacle of Division III gets televised on like the deep dark recesses of like like ESPN like 4. Do you know what I mean? And like, but it's like a job. Like I'd spend like probably 30 to 40 hours a week devoted to that and like related activities, and then I had school, and I just didn't have a life. Like I just didn't like. It's cool because you can kind of tap into this like social like scene. Like if you're on it sort of carries like a tiny bit of status within like a certain group of people, but like it's just if it's not like 100% what you want to do, it becomes really hard to pursue it still. You know what I mean?
You like basketball.
I
Your
did.
mom fucked basketball players. Can we talk about that?
Yeah,
Are we allowed to talk about that?
Yeah.
How did you? I don't.
How did I find
How
that
did you
out?
find this out?
I'm not well. So first of all,
And how many would you say? And
well,
who?
Okay, so so here's the thing: is like my mom would tell me these stories growing up about like famous people she knew.
Yeah.
So she apparently knew Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
Unclear whether or not she fooled around with him, but they both grew up in Seattle.
Yeah.
The story checks out.
I hope she did.
He apparently played baseball at the rec center that she was like a counselor at. But she would talk about knowing like Wilt Chamberlain.
Yeah.
And if you know anything about Wilt Chamberlain, he's famous for like allegedly having slept with like 50,000 women. So like knowing
Including
Wilt
your
Chamberlain
mom?
might so apparently the story that she told me is that she went to one of his basketball games, and unclear why she was there, and she was getting fucked with in the parking lot by some dudes, and he came out and he's just this enormous 7'2" dude, and he like scared him off, and unclear where the story goes from there.
But how did you find out she was actually having sex with these
Okay,
men?
so here's the thing. It's like, so she told me stories like that, and then like I know for a fact she dated do you know Bill Bradley?
No, I don't know this shit.
He's a senator for New Jersey now, I think, but he was on the Knicks.
I'm gonna look him up.
this big goofy looking dude, but she dated him for a while. She dated this Redskins quarterback who's like a legend named Sonny Jurgensen. And then she'd also tell me these stories about like her friends. Like one of her best friends got married to Bill Russell, who's like one of the best players of all time. One of her other friends got married to Lenny Wilkens, who's like this like franchise player for the Supersonics back in the day. And so it's a thing where like we're like piecing it together. I was like, were you a fucking basketball groupie when like you were younger? Like just like all these stories you have, it kind of seems like you maybe ran with a crew of ladies that like was like trying to fuck athletes.
Is there anything wrong with that?
No, I mean she had her type, and it sounds as if she was successful. I mean, she fucked up by not, locking down Bill Bradley. He's a fucking U.S. senator. He's a Rhodes Scholar. Won a championship with Princeton. He was on the New York Knicks for a long time.
This guy boned your mom?
Bill Bradley, yeah. I imagine, and also like started to build a life together and shit.
Do you see these people ever like on TV and you're like,
no,
that
I'm
guy
not.
boned
I'm
my
not
mom?
rubbing elbows with senators. Well, I do. I mean, I obviously I follow basketball pretty closely, so yeah, I see like footage of Wilt Chamberlain all the time, and I'm just like, oh, he might have fucked old Ma.
That's I mean, but my mom would always tell me things where I kind of piece them together too, but I don't know.
She never explicitly said that, but yeah, I mean, she was dropping some pretty strong hints.
Jesus. My nose is like, how do you don't get sick ever? I'm always sick and I don't understand why. It's not fair.
It's because I ride the subway. I'm just constantly like exposed to diseases.
I've been taking Ubers all over the fucking place.
I've got the immune system of an alligator.
God. So we met doing stand-up. I've since basically quit. I can't believe I used to do it every single night. I don't know how I lived that way.
Yeah.
How do you live that way?
It's very tough.
How mad are you all the time?
It's hard, man. I mean, it's I don't know. You kind of go like, you develop coping strategies.
Like alcohol and pills?
Alcohol. I haven't diversified into pills yet.
Diversified your portfolio.
But who knows? Who knows what 2017 holds for me? Yeah, man. I don't know. Yeah, I am. It is frustrating. Like, it's a frustrating world to navigate.
Why do you do it? Like, why did you get into doing it? Why?
It's fun. I love it. I mean, the feeling of like crushing a room.
It's so
the
good.
Best.
But when you bomb, it's so bad.
Yeah, fortunately, your definition of bombing changes as well. Like, I mean, obviously, you need to try out new material and you need to get out of your comfort zone. But I don't bomb my tits off the way that I used to. Do you know what I mean? Bombing for me now is I didn't really connect with the crowd, and I don't get zero. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wire to wire, but there's definitely sets where it's I just don't do well, and I'm fuck, I never really got it. But also trying out new material, I also know now I will get zero, but I'm trying out new shit that isn't tested, and I need it's a part of the process.
What's the hardest you've ever bombed? What did you do? What did you say? What happened?
Well, I mean, one that was pretty recent was last weekend when I was in Myrtle Beach. I called this fat teenager with a just sort of misshapen skull, and you look into the eyes of someone and that you can just tell that they're just they're probably just mentally there's just impaired.
Perhaps.
Well, just looking into his eye, and he heckled me, and I hit him back, and the crowd was into it, and I got overconfident because of how well I the crowd reacted to me making fun of him, and I said, yeah, listen, you fat fucking mongoloid, and the crowd instantly was ooh. And then I bombed for the next 15 minutes.
Shit. I mean, if you're going to bomb, you got to bomb hard. I don't know. I think these days, I haven't been, everybody says it'd be so easy to do comedy with Donald Trump, but what's there to make fun of with Donald Trump anymore? I'm already Trumped out, and it's been a day and a half.
Certainly not. And also it made the situation worse. First, in Myrtle Beach, you do not make fun of Donald Trump.
Everybody loves Donald Trump.
They fucking love him down there. And I had to follow a racist, homophobic comedy magician the whole weekend who literally had tricks like yeah, he literally went up. He had a length of rope that like he cut, and it's like that's like one of those things. But he went up to a black dude in the audience and like with the length of rope, and he was like, "You're familiar with this, ain't you?" And I was
That's
like,
not a joke.
Yeah, no." And I was just like,
That's not a
"Oh
joke.
man," but it's like a thing too, where like you gain insight into that kind of shit, and you're just like, "Wow." I mean, like you just don't like you're just goofy and socially awkward. Like you're that like stunted of a person. You don't understand like just emotionally why you don't like
Right.
do that.
You
know what
don't
I
do
mean?
that,
Like,
but
he had no idea why that's not necessarily something that you should do.
there's so many. I mean, there's so many comics where they bomb. They don't know why they bomb. They don't know. I mean,
He thought, and the thing is, he thought he was doing awesome. Like he strutted off the stage like he was fucking like Springsteen after like a 4-hour show in like Jersey.
yeah.
And I was just like, man, you just have no idea. Like he just doesn't perceive the world the same way that we do.
No, I need to. I'm sorry. I need to bring it back to me for a second.
Go ahead.
No, it's bad.
What is it?
So yesterday on the show, I drooled on the Greg Gutfeld show, and I didn't know that anybody saw it.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody just tweeted at me, watching the show again, I like the part where Kat Timpf drooled to feel better.
That's pretty hard to catch on camera. It's like
I know.
I
I was talking and they didn't take it off of me, and it
Yeah.
was live,
Yeah.
and like we're never live.
But it's like a thing where it's like also drool is like transparent, so you must have really gushed.
I really know it
out
was
of your
bad.
mouth.
Look at this guy right here. You guys can't see him because you're listening.
Oh,
but
he's the one that called you out.
Yeah, he's
He
like
looks
a very
like a
nice.
70s detective.
Yeah, he does look like. Oh no, you saw me drool.
Yeah.
No, because I thought nobody, because it just shot out, because like I've been like mouth breathing for so long that it was like so
Yeah.
much saliva
'Cause
in
you're
my mouth
diseased.
because I have my diseases.
Yeah.
And then it squirted out and it shot out and then it landed on my chin.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sorry. I just did, I just did do that. But I mean, drooling on live television is really embarrassing, and I can't believe.
They should make a parody Twitter account for your salivary glands.
I already have a couple parody Twitter accounts.
Yeah, no, they've got one for your mole.
For my mole, for my feet, my butt has one.
The mole one is spectacular, if only for the fact that the profile picture is that Dig Dug
Pokemon. Yeah, absolutely.
It's a fucking hilarious.
I mean,
choice.
I cried over this mole every day in 6th grade because I thought it was why I didn't have a boyfriend.
It probably was.
No, it wasn't. It was because of my bangs.
Your side bangs?
Yeah, why-
Your Michigan early aughts side bangs?
Yeah, like anybody who watches the 16 and pregnant teen mom, Caitlin,
Yeah.
16 and pregnant, those side bangs that start in the middle of your head because your hair's too thin for bangs, is exactly what I had going on with my hair.
That was the look if you wanted to reproduce in Michigan.
In Michigan,
in
everybody had that
2002.
look. Oh my God. Someone's going to make is it a GIF or GIF?
I call them gifts.
Out of me drooling.
That is an awesome outcome of you drooling on camera.
No, but like I was trying to say smart things.
and you literally drool like a fucking mentally
I was
impaired
trying to
person.
say smart things, and it just came out. Oh my God, I never thought. I thought, because yesterday I had so much other criticism and like compliments like from the show.
That is the indication of someone actually saying smart things when they refer to saying intelligent things. Like, I was trying to say smart
No,
things.
I'm really fucking smart, and you can shut up. But like, I'm just saying that I didn't come off as intelligent as I deserve because
I was just talking that smart talk.
I was doing smart talk. Look, I know a lot of stuff. I know you're a lib.
I
Everybody
guess.
listening to this guy-
I'm really not.
This is a man voted for Hillary Clinton. Boo! Lock her up. Lock her up.
I mean, look.
Lock her up.
I mean, I guess, like, relative to some people, I'm liberal. I'm not.
Are you concerned that Hillary Clinton is a criminal?
I definitely believe that she is, but
Think she murdered people?
I think she did. So I found out about this weekend, that Simon Rich shit. Do you know about that? So, like, it's a thing about, the leaked information from the DNC and, like, basically, obviously, like all that information leaked during, like, the election, stuff about the emails, and this kid that was affiliated with the DNC, Simon Rich, apparently got shot, and it's alleged that he was the guy that leaked the information to Assange, and it hasn't been, like, explicitly, like linked, but like Assange, like after it happened, is like, I'm offering $20,000 reward for anybody that's got information on who killed Simon Rich.
Oh my God, this shit's gonna blow up.
I mean, it probably should have already. I mean, it's over. Like, it's like there's bigger problems,
I know, but I
to
just
deal
love
with at the
I love
moment. But
WikiLeaks. I think it's so interesting. I think it's fantastic.
hmm
I can't get enough of that kind of shit.
here's the thing we can talk about: the CIA front I just got fired from.
Wait, what? Yeah, talk about that. You got fired?
So I'm not gonna say what the organization was, but I worked for like a refugee support organization that did a lot of stuff with like this is for my day job that did a lot of work with Syrian refugees. And I'm like 95% 95% certain as a CIA front, just because there's a ton of directors of the CIA that used to be the president of that place. I like had to like wire like sketchy like just under $10,000, just like the amount of money that you need. It's like the threshold where you need to report it
Yeah.
to Tunisia to support programming in Libya. My bosses were kidnapped by Russians in the Ukraine
Oh wow.
and accused of being spies.
Yeah. That seems a little bit. I mean, I think everything. There's a lot of candy stores in Harlem that are like fronts for the cops.
Yeah.
Everything's a front.
The cops?
The
How
for
does
like
that work?
no, like they're like drug fronts, and the cops. You know, I
Yeah, of
don't know.
course.
I think all drugs should be allowed. I think you should be able to buy whatever heroin, get a prescription, do whatever.
Sure.
I think you should be able to legalize it all.
Yeah, they do. They're doing that in like Uruguay or some country where it doesn't fucking matter. No, Portugal. Portugal is like one of the places where they do it.
It matters.
But it's like a thing though where it's like apparently like there's fewer overdoses and like I don't know, like it's a nice source of like there's like I guess the prisons are less crowded and shit, and like it's just like it's generally like a decent policy.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I just need to do some MDMA and it would make my nose feel better.
If they cleared up your
I don't know what
your
to
congestion.
do. I have congestion.
It seems like you know,
I think I'm gonna
a bit
die.
of a heavy-handed solution.
I think I'm gonna die soon. I think I have all these diseases and I don't know what to do about it. I mean, I don't know. Like, people like don't get sick. Like, there's people that I know that have been around another sick person and they don't get sick. That's never happened to me.
I'm definitely one of those people.
You're probably not gonna get sick from being around me right now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to go anywhere near your microphone, but yeah, you're breathing on that pretty heavily. You've already established that you've got a drooling problem that you spray out of your mouth when you
I
speak.
did. I didn't. I mean, it was really embarrassing and it was live. Like, they would have cut it out. Like, they would have cut. It was no problem. I
Like
mean,
that dinosaur from Jurassic Park. God damn, that should be the GIF.
oh my god.
Is you spraying poison into Newman's face.
I've never been. The thing about like, I don't know, live TV. It's always tempting when you go on to just like not have a thought in your head. Like, what'd be the funniest way I could get fired right now?
Oh no, I definitely have. Whenever I'm in like a large crowd, I'm like, what's the thing that I could yell that would piss everybody? Like, what could get me punched in the face
Yeah.
if I could yell it?
Well, like, do you have any?
It's always a racial slur. It's always like, but I like it's, but I mean, but that's also like, it's less fun. It's like what's the minimum? Like, what's like the least offensive thing I could say that would like totally like piss everybody off though? Where it's like, because like going to a racial slur is easy. Do you know what I mean? But it's like, what if you like said something like, I mean, another easy one is like 9/11's like an inside job, but like in like the wrong crowd.
Bush did 9/11.
If I did that in Myrtle Beach, I probably would have gotten beaten to death in the parking
Said
lot.
Bush did 9/11.
I should have. I mean, I was bombing so bad, I might as well have said that.
I used to love doing that.
Calling that actually retarded kid retarded.
When I was bombing really bad, I would just be like, all right, here's the rape jokes that I wrote in the back of an Uber the other day that I knew that I couldn't tell, that I'm just going to tell now.
This can't go any worse.
This can't go any worse. It doesn't matter. I mean, I had a lot of 9/11 jokes when I did comedy. I love 9/11 jokes.
Good for you.
I think it is pretty good for me.
Yeah.
I think, you know.
It means you were going to open mics and really listening to what people were saying.
No, my 9/11. I had a 9/11 joke that was so good it was consistently my closer because it did so well every time. So
it's pretty sweet. What was it? You want to break us off a piece?
No, I can't. You know that doesn't work. What if I did that to you? I'm telling you, Joe.
I mean, I'm not gonna like organically laugh, but I can recognize it as a good joke.
No, I'll tell you.
I remember your showerhead joke was good.
That was so dumb.
Massaging showerhead.
That was the first joke I ever wrote.
That's a good joke.
That was the first joke I ever wrote.
Well, you've started off strong.
That was you knew me right. We did stand up in Austin.
You're a good comic. You're funny.
Thank you.
Yeah. We
went to that comedy festival in Austin.
Yeah, Out of Bounds.
Yeah, well, we went to the worst pool party ever.
Oh Jesus! Yeah, it's the fucking like the ritzy apartment of like the daughter of some major Republican donor, Democratic donor? It's a
Doesn't
Democratic
matter. It's the same.
Yeah, it's the same like fucking upper class piece of garbage.
Yeah. And I was walking to the pool, and I said, I said, sometimes I say I'm going to kill myself as a verbal pause, which I understand can make me be not such a pleasant person to be around, but it's just something that I do, where I was like, well,
whenever you and I were having a good time, like having a nice little lighthearted riff on suicide, just playfully, and then she goes like in a very somber, like serious tone of voice.
Actually, somebody jumped out of a building and killed themselves at this apartment.
And, oh my god! Like, did you know her?
Yeah, no.
Well, then what the fuck do you care?
What's the problem?
Yeah.
I was like, if I can't talk lightheartedly about killing myself, this isn't gonna work.
Well, and it's like a thing too, where it's like just the general subject of suicide. It's like we can no longer mention that on this premises.
I mean, but people kill themselves. I mean, imagine being that boring. I don't know. Imagine being.
Yeah, but it's just like a thing too, where it's like, listen, if you choose like a really public method of suicide like that like inconveniences other people, you should get made fun of.
How would you kill yourself? I think about this all the time.
Man, I'd be so concerned about inconveniencing other people. I'd do something where like I'd either like decompose like out in the woods, or like get carried away in the ocean. I
wouldn't do that.
Or
I would go mad public with it.
Oh, you'd be one of those assholes that jumped in front of the subway?
No, I told you. I've said this already. Everybody who listens to my podcast regularly already knows the answer to this, and you don't, so you're not a real friend.
Oh,
I want to walk into a deli with a gun, but I'd have to do this. It'd have to be, because sometimes the deli is, what do you mean there's no more egg salad, and then blow my brains out. That's my favorite.
Just over something minor.
Area woman kills herself.
And just but that actually would probably do some good, because the deli would forever change its egg salad policy. It would always have it on hand.
I would love to be the lady who killed herself because there was no egg salad.
Yeah. And people wouldn't be inconvenienced in the future because they'd always have egg salad on hand.
Absolutely. I think most women think about like weddings and like babies.
Right.
I've thought a lot more. Like, I don't know if I'll ever have kids. If I do, I have no idea what I'll name them. I haven't thought about that. I haven't thought about what my wedding would be like. I have thought so much about my own funeral and what I want for my funeral.
Sure.
Like, do you think about that? Or is it just me?
Oh, no. I mean, like, as far as like being like attention seeking and narcissistic, I love to imagine like how many people, like what would we say the attendance of your funeral would be?
No, mine's gonna be a party.
Yeah.
So,
but like attendance for like ballpark, like what, like attendance figures?
I don't know. I want it to be Edmund Fitzgerald themed. The shipwreck in Lake Superior.
You're not gonna give me a number?
Thousands.
Wow, thousands.
Well, there's gonna be free booze and free vapes.
Did some kind of like Catholic saint die?
And I want like only the most sensual ass R&B tunes like playing in the parlor of the wake. And I want like a proper church funeral, and it's like hymns. Yeah. And like everything is like so nice, and then like they bring out the casket with my body to walk it down the aisle, and all of a sudden Mr. Boombastic comes on. That would be so dope. They bring me down the aisle, and she's like, Mr. Lover, and nobody would know what to do. And it's a shame that I don't get to see it, which is why I'm having a 30th birthday party, funeral themed. Donner party for 28. I don't know what I'm gonna do for 29 yet, but 30th is my own funeral, and we're getting a casket. I already got my friends on it.
Does that mean you have to lie still and
not talk?
No,
but I'll do
a party.
I want a part of the party where I do lie still, and everybody talks about how much they miss the things that they love about me.
Oh man, that sounds like a real blast.
And my friends are gonna give some selected friends are gonna give a eulogy. Am I the worst narcissist you've ever met, or just top
It's possible.
Five? That's
not
true.
There.
You're in comedy. I can't be the worst. Okay, am I top 5?
Oh, you might be top 3.
That's not true. This sucks. Like, one of my last podcasts ended with Ben Kissel being like, "Are you a sociopath?" And I just wouldn't appreciate that.
I mean, what was I gonna say? With like funerals and stuff, how like in terms of like success percent, like in terms of like good time versus bad time, what has the higher success rate for you? Weddings or funerals?
What do you mean, having a good time at them?
Yeah,
weddings. I always have a better time at weddings. I've never had a dope-ass time at a funeral.
I've had a dope-ass time at a funeral.
Really?
Yeah. My friend's mom died, and like, granted, I will say I left before it got sad. Apparently, it got deeply sad because everybody got too drunk, and people started crying and like fighting.
Yeah.
And but that was like around like 2 a.m. I left at like 9 p.m. because I had a show, and then I was thinking about coming back, and like my friends were like, just don't come back.
I think
Everybody's
a lot
crying.
of other people had a good time at my mom's funeral.
Yeah. Oh well, I mean, but that's obviously.
But it was
not
my
for
mom,
you.
so like I was bummed, like
Right.
extra bummed. But like we had people over our house after for like just food, but then people bought a bunch of booze and we all got pretty like we drank a lot and everyone had a lot of fun. My cousin Carrie spilled a bottle of wine on my she's like
Fucking
on my
Carrie.
sister's on my sister's sociology book. Oh,
Ugh.
Carrie's the dopest. She's my favorite cousin.
Well, I mean, so this doesn't necessarily turn it into like a good time, but like a lot of people like relate this experience whenever like a loved one dies. Is that weird people from their past come forward and they tell like stories that you never knew about.
Yeah.
Like, about that loved one. Did you have that happen with your mom?
My mom, right before she died, she sat up like as soon as they noticed that or as soon as they said she wasn't a candidate for an organ transplant, the first thing she said was get these whores off my television, which was
Fucking awesome.
there was the Disney Channel on.
Please.
And she said get these whores off my TV. People are sobbing.
Which
it was
is fantastic.
Yeah, it was me.
And she's right.
Yeah, it was me, my dad, my sister, my brother, and then
Yeah.
my two aunts and their husbands. And she just said, get these whores. She's sitting up, she had a notebook and she was sitting up. She's like, okay, these people are speaking. These are people who are going to try to speak, but they are not. I'm telling them right now, they are not.
Awesome.
And I want this funeral home. I want these songs. I want this church at this church, but I want this priest from this other church, and I wanted to be wearing this and that. The only thing that we didn't do is she wanted like some point for them to play I Want to Be Sedated by the Ramones, and I'm like,
oh, dude, like if a church choir did a rendition of it, that would have been fantastic.
I know, but we didn't do that, and I feel like I failed her, and I feel like maybe that's why I'm getting sick.
She's like, you didn't get I Want to Be Sedated at my funeral.
Well, because
Katherine.
that's people wonder where I get it from. Where I'm like, I want Mr. Boombastic.
Oh, dude, man, all right. If you were a ghost, would you be a benevolent ghost or an evil ghost?
Evil ghost.
I would only use that power to exact revenge.
That's not true. I love my family. I would do anything for Elliot, former podcast guest Elliot, Julia, and Dan.
I guess the question is, would you be a guardian angel or would you be like a?
Oh, I
evil
enjoy
specter?
evil so much more, but I do evil to bad people, like bullies
Right.
and girls who are mean in middle school. There's nothing more evil to me than a girl who's mean in middle school.
So I know we've talked about this, but my mom, who was a therapist, she dealt with like a lot of like military patients and stuff.
Yeah.
Like ex-Navy SEALs, like literally like weaponized sociopaths who's like, and that she was just trying to help them like keep their families from falling apart because they just couldn't relate to them because they just like had to go to like fucking Iraq to just like murder insurgents like cleanly, you know what I mean, in the night.
Yeah.
And so she had to help them like readjust, and she would still insist the most unhelpable, like beyond my control, like patients I had were always teenage girls. Like
Yeah.
you just couldn't say shit to them. Like between the ages of like 12 and like 15, like you just have to steer them and hopefully nothing bad happens because like there's not going to listen to shit you say.
Yeah, I mean, no, I didn't.
I think boys are the same, but I think it's between the ages of 15 and like 35. But like it's just like there's just this period where like your brain is like still forming and like you're reckless and like you get drunk and like you're just like I think girls do like really fucked up sociopathic shit. I think dudes like do shit that like could get them killed.
Did you ever steal in high school?
I've never been into stealing. No, I've been into to breaking shit, but not stealing shit.
But you don't even get anything for it.
No, but it's about it's like purging yourself of like anger.
I guess, but I mean, I was not very good at stealing.
Like the sensation of like breaking a beer bottle. You don't find that satisfying?
I've definitely broken things, but like I
don't believe you for a second that you wouldn't derive like an enormous amount of satisfaction from like throwing a malt liquor bottle.
You've
and,
seen
like,
me throw
shatter.
things.
Yeah.
You've seen me throw things.
So that's what I'm saying. So like for example, like I don't steal, but like I understand the rush of stealing something.
I stole a shirt from Wet Seal once.
Awesome.
And
dude, like the thing is, though, I don't have any fucking sympathy for those like big ass like corporate chains. Like steal from fucking Wet Seal. I don't care.
no, but I didn't handle it well. I was so nervous in every store that I was in after that.
Yeah.
I thought they caught me, so I had to take my friend's keys, who's driving her mom's minivan,
Yeah.
and I literally hid in the trunk of the minivan for the rest of their time at the mall.
You know,
I'm not cut out for it.
I think part of the reason, I don't think I am either, and part of the reason why I think I don't do it is because when I was a little kid, my mom used to drag me around to fucking, you know, stores and stuff because I was an only child and like she didn't have somebody to take care of me, so like I just had to like go with her to like fucking Crate and Barrel and shit.
Ew.
Yeah, I know. It's boring, and so like I would just walk around the stores. And to entertain myself, I remember one time I stole a bunch of like transparent like rocks. They're just decorative rocks, but I just liked them because I was like 5, and I took a bunch of them and I admitted it to my mom, and she like made me go back to the store and admit that I stole them, and it's this whole humiliating thing, and I guess it worked. Like I never did it again.
Have you ever had a dream where you're in a Bed Bath & Beyond, and you have to pee, and like, but you're like, you ever dream you have to pee, but you're in a Bed Bath & Beyond, and like, if you have to, the only toilets are like the ones on the floor?
Totally.
Does everybody have that dream?
More like you're running around, you're looking for a. Oh wait, no, I see what you're saying. So you have to pee in one of the.
But like you're in
toilets.
a Bed Bath & Beyond.
I've done that in real life.
You peed in a toilet at Bed Bath & Beyond?
Like so, I remember my
Wait,
parents.
What?
Well, when I was a little kid.
No.
My parents were like they're like fixing up the bathroom. And they had to like take the toilet out, and it was just like sitting there like in the hallway.
Yeah.
And I just was like, oh, like because I didn't understand that toilets were connected to plumbing at that point. So I was like, oh, the toilet's out here now in the hallway.
Were they mad at you?
I don't think they noticed because like it's just pee. Like it doesn't really like.
Ew, but they didn't notice.
Pee's pretty sterile. They might have, but it's just like a thing where it's like I was so young that they're just like, let's not weirdly embarrass him over something pretty innocuous.
But you thought about it when you were older, like, oh, like I have.
I definitely had the nightmare where like you're running around looking for a bath. I mean, it's similar to like a late dream or something. It's like you have to take an urgent shit and there's there's nowhere to go.
Yeah, I don't ever have poop dreams like that. Just peeing ones.
Right.
Where I mean, I always have those dreams, and I'm always in a Bed Bath & Beyond. I'm trying to fix my messy bun because it's like starting to actually pull on my hair, on my head.
It's hurting your scalp.
Yeah, it's hurting my scalp. I mean, I look so. Everybody who's listening, I look alarmingly bad right now. It's alarming. I'm wearing a co-ed T-shirt, Lulu's, and above the knee boots.
The mole is especially prominent.
My mole's out because my glasses are off.
The mole is out.
I'm sick. I have fake eyelashes on from yesterday, but by on,
the eyelashes look
sort
good.
of on. They're sort of on. I look very much like a mugshot of a woman who just drowned her children, I would say.
You need bigger bags under your eyes, I think.
I do.
And
that's so sweet because I do have bags under my eyes.
Well, but you're also like your hair is like pretty well kept for someone that just drowned her kids.
I do want to like put makeup on. I'm like starting to feel insecure like mid podcast, but it's okay. I'll probably not do that. I mean, I don't know. Oh, I can't believe they saw me drool. Well, also, people asked me about snoring. I snore terribly.
Mm-hmm.
I was so yesterday on the Amtrak when I was coming from DC, and this podcast will air in a week, so it'll be like a week, but I just whatever.
It's no longer timely.
It doesn't matter.
This is not an evergreen story, Kat.
It is because it's really about me and no. So me and our producer were seated across from two people who were fans of the Gutfeld show, and I was very nice. And I love meeting fans. I really do. Because it's like, that's why I have a job.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's still, like, you knew me. Like, I'm not, like, a person who should have ever been, like, have any success. I don't know. I mean, I work really hard. I do think I'm smart, but it's hard. So it's to make it into television. So I'm, like, very grateful for it. But I was so sick. And I'd spent the previous day in the rain for 5 hours being sick, interviewing protesters. And I felt awful.
Yeah, it's like, this definitely, like, not a glamorous part of your job.
No.
It's shitty.
And I had lost my glasses, I thought. I later found them in my suitcase. So normally, like, the reason I started wearing these glasses is because I can't do my own eye makeup.
Yeah.
And so I looked terrible. They still recognized who I was, which I was like, okay. I ate a hot dog in front of them, and then I fell asleep with my neck pillow. Oh, and I kept waking up, catching myself open mouth, drooling onto my neck pillow.
Oh, dude, I got a bad one.
But then I came to the show yesterday.
Yeah.
And they were in the audience. Like, they came to the show.
Bummer.
And I was like, do I look better now? Like, I had my
Yeah.
fake hair in, I had my glasses on, I had, like, fresh makeup.
It's a breathtaking
But
transformation.
I felt so embarrassed because, like, and then our producer, Tom, was sitting next to me, and he just, like, had to keep up the conversation. And while probably also apologizing for me on the right, I was, like, I asked them on the show, was I snoring? And they said, no. Were they lying to me? They must have been. I have a sinus issue. I
was on a flight one time, and I passed out with like my head down, and I had like the light on me, and like I started drooling down because I've got a drooling problem when I sleep, and when I woke up, like it literally was like my entire like right pec was just like covered in saliva, and it's like and it was like, you know, it was like a light shirt so people could tell. I'd turned my
I've seen
shirt
you drool
transparent.
before.
Yeah,
you got it. That's why you're making fun of me for my.
I mean, it is fun. Like, we both should be made fun of for drooling. Like, it's not a normal thing.
I think it is. I don't know. I mean, I don't know that we need to, like, look cool when we sleep. I don't look cool when I sleep. I'm a terrible.
Yeah, is there anything lamer than looking cool when you sleep? There's probably some people that are able to manage that.
Yeah, I don't really. It doesn't matter.
Like, I'll bet, like, fucking, I don't know, like Kendrick Lamar looks cool when he sleeps somehow.
He looks cool all the time.
Right.
I guess I met him last week. I met him at Yams.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Yams. I've never felt less cool in my life than I felt at Yams.
Yeah.
It was like, I look around, it's like, oh, there's Kendrick Lamar. There's, like, Schoolboy Q. Like, there's...
Did they look like they had social anxiety?
No.
Fuck. I just kind of would love to see, like, Jay-Z, like, awkwardly checking his smartphone. That would, like, honestly, that would probably be the cure to my social anxiety.
Nobody had their phones, which is why I put my phone away, because people who had their phones, they were like Snapchatting, like, and my phone has been dying at like 20-30%. So I put my phone away because I was like, needed to get an Uber home. I got lost.
Right.
Like, it was crazy. And like, everybody there was like so cool. It was rappers, and then like, and like these girls with like these big boobs and these big butts and like hoop earrings, and then like me with my glasses, like dancing.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like on the stage at Madison Square Garden. Like, Kendall Jenner was there, and like I kept trying to like smile at her, but like she was not having it because like she's cooler than me and she knows it.
What a cool, fun girl.
Yeah, I'm like, look, it doesn't cost you any money to smile back. She was not. I mean, she had braids and she was like wearing joggers and like a mesh like shirt with her boobs out, and I'm like, dude, I get that you're cool. I understand, because like she's, I guess.
I also imagine like she's not like biologically like a good-looking person, so it's like she's a formerly ugly person that like through surgery has become really hot. So imagine like how badly you wield that power now, like how vengefully you are like, I'm now great looking and I can impose it on you people.
I feel that way about myself. Look at me now versus how I look when I come out of TV hair and makeup.
So you explicitly like wield like your
I don't know. I do feel more confident. I have hair dysmorphia and eyelash dysmorphia going on right now in my life. And how am I supposed to deal with that? By the time
I know it sounds like a real trial.
I had my hair and makeup in, but it was just, I mean, these guys are just so, like, I don't know. They're just cool people. And I'm just very like sick. But it was a fun time. It was a good time.
I'd spend my entire time just like watching like one of those dudes just to see, like, just to wait for the facade to fall. It doesn't ever.
Not that I saw. I mean, like I said,
Kendrick Lamar doesn't drool.
The only person that
I
knew that I met was Danny Brown, the Detroit guy. He's the only person that I'd met before.
Right.
And these are all his friends. So he's like running around like talking to all of his friends, and he's his friends, and they're all friends. And I was just kind of like dancing, and I'm a terrible dancer. Like, I dance like a baby in the mall. Everybody's like everyone's like got like these like sexual dance moves. There's nothing sexual about the way that I dance.
Right.
And I'm like standing on stage at Madison Square Garden.
Well, I mean, that's like their audition to, like, you know,
be part of the crew.
Yeah.
I knew this was the only time I was gonna be able to do something like this. So I was just like, whatever. I'm just like dancing. I'm like dancing, and like it was like to the part where like I lost my stuff in the dressing room or whatever, because I dropped my coat off and my phone off and all my stuff in there.
Yeah.
And I like lost and I couldn't find it at the end of the night, and they were like, "Who are you here with?" Like, what? Are you...
Yeah.
But
I've had that happen to me before. It's the worst feeling in the world when like. People that are like are really like big time, they never do it in like a super rude way, but they do kind of like slyly ask you like, I'm sorry, like, who do you know here? It gets like a way where it's just like, are you supposed to be in here?
Right. But
it's the worst feeling in the
I mean,
world.
like everyone was nice. Like it was we were on the stage, so it wasn't a situation where anybody was like talking.
Right.
So it wasn't like I had to worry about making converse. Like I met everybody,
Yeah.
but I didn't have to like worry about like making awkward conversation or like not making conversation. I was just very aware of the fact that objectively, all of these people were cooler than me by 9 million. Like you rap for a living. That's amazing. Like I look to my right, I'm like, oh, there's Rocky, and I look to my left, I'm like, oh, there's Kendrick. Apparently Kendrick Lamar showed up, and he's literally a foot away from me.
Right.
You know, and I'm just.
The thing is, though, I will say, like I'm not disputing that these are like cool people, but like for example, like I mean, like what. Like what do those people talk about? Like when they let their guard down.
Rap.
Do you know what I mean? Like, but so like for example, like so when I was in Jamaica, like this is like the sort of like a lifestyle thing that like at least I mean this is at least for this one guy. I went to a club. Sean Paul showed up, and I was like, it was like the biggest thing in the world. The whole club went ape shit, and I was like, I don't know what I was like 19. I was like, you know what? I want to see if I can go talk to Sean Paul, just see what that's like. I couldn't get close. I literally tried to get close to him, and like some bodyguard like literally like shoved me in the chest and was like, "You can't come any closer."
Yeah.
But all he did was show up and just stand there, and just be Sean Paul, and bounce.
Yeah.
And it's like a thing was like what like. I feel like a lot like it's just like a thing where like you are like this identity and like you like that's like what it is, but there's no like complexity to it. Do you know what I mean? Like it's just you're
but you want to be a stand-up comedian, so shut up.
Yeah.
My job title is personality.
Right.
But I'm just on the news, which is like, you know, I don't know. Some people think that's cool. There's people out there who know who I am who don't know who Kendrick Lamar is.
Right.
It's just a different demographic. I mean, he's obviously more famous and amazing than me, but it's just such an interesting when you yourself become a product. Which is what I am, I guess. The show, the Kat Timpf Show, I'm a product.
Right.
On the Gutfeld Show. It's so, when you're yourself a product, but you also are a person. Like I'm a human being and I have my own life and I have like feelings and insecurities and a family and friends and a cat. It's like, it becomes an interesting thing where you don't really know where to draw the line.
I hear that, but I mean, I guess the difference between like being like a stand-up comic versus like being like a rapper is like, I feel like with the stand-up comic, like the personality is sort of like intrinsic to it, and maybe that's not like that's not necessarily like not the case with rappers, but it's just like a thing where I don't know, it's like I wonder what like their inner life is like. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I feel like when you're that big, like you absolutely cannot ever show anybody because it's like there's so much on the line that like you're letting down, like you're basically like a company, like you're letting down like a massive company. And like people that are like reliant on you, if you ever slip and are like, you know, give like an opinion that's sort of like out of step with like your, like brand, I guess. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, it applies to me too.
Right, but so I mean, so like, okay, we'll get back to you in a second. But I'm just saying, like, I mean, but like going to like a party like that, and like, I mean, like was like Kendrick Lamar and like this other like were they drinking?
Everyone was drinking, yeah.
But I mean that's like a risk then.
I guess. Right? I mean you don't have to get hammered.
No, I know, but like it's like a thing where it's like that adds like uncertainty because you're like I might fucking open my mouth and say some shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean like so going back to those girls, the girls with the hoop earrings with the big asses.
I don't know if he was specifically drinking, but there's booze everywhere.
But you know what I'm saying, where it's like there's a lot at stake. But I remember there's like so like this buddy of mine was dating a girl that like basically got like she was like Drake's like fuck buddy for like a part of his tour, and like she just like went to one of those parties, and he was like, "You're beautiful, come with me," and he's like, "Do you want to just like come with me to Australia?" And she's like, "Yeah," and so she just like went with him to Australia. They like fucked for a while, and then like at the end of like that part of the tour, he's like, "All right, I'll see you later," and just bought her a ticket back, and like that's how like that's sort of like I guess the best case scenario of like attending one of those parties for those girls.
Yeah,
like, just get to live the fucking high life
for a
you know
couple weeks
for like a month.
Yeah. I mean, I guess
that's a cool. I mean, you know, it's a cool story.
It's a cool story, but you're not allowed to like have a job.
Yeah. Well,
I love having a job. All right, we've been talking for a while. We think we've passed. I've timed it out pretty well.
Nice.
Is there anything else that you wanted to talk about that you didn't? I mean, we can talk as long as we want, but.
I mean, I don't know. I think I'm in pretty good shape.
Do you want to? I mean, this will probably not be out for a week. So I don't know if you want to promote anything, but it's kind of out, still out there. But
I mean, I'm gonna be in Chicago, Alsip, Illinois, Riddles. That'll be actually that'll probably be the week this comes out.
Yeah, there you go.
So yeah, come to Riddles. I'm headlining. Yeah.
All right, everybody. That's wonderful. That was a hell of a pitch.
You see me?
Yeah, you're funny.
I'm
you're
okay
very funny.
comedy.
No, you're a very funny guy. He's very, very funny. I actually do enjoy you. So
great, thank you.
Shut up. I mean, I'm having you on my show. All right, everybody. Seriously, you should go check him out. He's good. He's a good comic. I'm impressed every time I see him. I quit, and he has not quit too, which is amazing to me in itself. You're crushing. All right, and then social media, Ryan Schutt. Ryan, everybody knows how to spell Ryan. Schutt, SCHUTT. Twitter, Instagram. Rye Schutt. Yeah, Rye Schutt. Follow him. Everybody, thanks. I never know how to end this. This is the part where I get the most insecure about my podcast. So it's something I'm going to share with everybody. Sometimes I say bye. Sometimes I say we're all going to die someday. I don't really know how to end it. So then people say it ends abruptly, which is what it's probably going to do.
You should end with a gunshot.
That's a good idea for my brand.
Yeah.
I'm going to get a gun for next week. All right, bye.